So one of my students, Matt, has asked me a great question. Hi Alpesh, hope it's going well. What are your current thoughts on how far Costco has to go? The reason he's asked that is because he knows Costco is one of my approved list companies, and it's done incredibly well, as you can see, since it's been on our list, which I think means it's up, I don't know, 50%-ish, something like that. And of course it keeps going up, and we've had it since, well, we launched the program last April. I think it was around this time. So what's that? Right, sorry, 25% since then. It's up 50% since its base, but 25%. So take that and that growth. And of course, he's worried, should I take profits? Now, there's a couple of things to look at with this. First of all, I don't look at how far something has to go as a general rule, because then what I'd have to do is try and time and trade my investments, which I don't do. I hold it for 12 months. So how far does it have to go? Well, the rules I have, as you know, are, is it going to drop 25% from the highest it's been since I bought it? It's rule number one. And then, so it's a 25% trailing stop loss. Or rule number two, 12 months are up, and then we'll review it. Now, let's take this as a classic example. You might say, okay, on a scale of 0 to 10, and this is a good way of solving any problems that you have or questions that you have. Let's work out zero risk, and let's work out level 10 risk. Zero risk would be, let's take cash today. That's zero risk. Maximum opportunity cost, because it could continue going up, but it's zero risk. Okay, so let's look at risk versus opportunity cost. So that's zero risk, okay, but opportunity cost is the highest at that. If you were say, oh, but you know what, I'm about halfway, where 10 is you're going to keep hold of the stock, all right, with a 25% trailing stop loss, right? So what's halfway? Well, halfway could be, Alpesh, you know what I'll do? I'll sell half of it now, keep the other half with the 25% trailing stop loss. There. Or, Alpesh, you know what, I'll keep all of it, but I'll put this trailing stop loss at 10%. Do you see how it's a sliding scale based on your appetite? It's a bit like me asking, how hungry are you when we go for dinner? That's your food appetite. Your risk appetite is very similar. So I want you to look at something like that. When you start thinking, oh my God, I've had so much, how far could it go? What could happen? You might be expecting me to say, well, I've got some news, and I think if it goes below this trend line, you should get, well, you know what, it's going to drive you and me nuts, because I'm going to have to do that across 9,000 companies. I've got better things to do. And you're going to have to keep an eye out for the moment I send that across to you. Not going to work for either of us. Okay, so some of you might say, well, I'm going to see if it drops below that moving average or a trend line or whatever. It's up to you if you want to trade your investments. Like I said, my rule is 25% trailing stop loss or 12 months. Why is it so? Why is it not so bespoke to every single stock? Well, because I want to smell the roses. If you don't want to smell the roses, then try and make it more bespoke if you wish. But the research from Eugene Famer, who won a Nobel Prize for this, suggests that you won't get it right often enough. You might get it right once or twice, not often enough to make it worth your while. It's a bit like the guy who switches lanes in the motorway all the time thinking he's going to get ahead. Doesn't happen. Just does a lot of work. Occasionally he gets ahead for a few meters, thinks, ooh, this is a strategy which always works. Doesn't work often enough to give you a return. So think of like Costco and anything else that I've picked where, you've had bumper returns, because you've had quite a few bumper returns. We've averaged 40% per annum unleveraged, which is what we've been going for across all the picks since we've been analyzing them for you. So have a look at that. And like I said, work out where you are on this, and then season to taste, as it were. So if you're at 10, keep all of it. Some even double down. I wouldn't recommend that unless it's on the approved list still and you want to add more capital to it, in which case, yeah, you're sort of at 11 risk then, because you're concentrating your holdings. Others will say, no, I'll take the cash, thanks. Others will say, I'll tighten the stop loss or sell some of my positions. Simple. Now your decision making has been simplified. So whenever you're confused on what to do, 0 to 10 on that, and then that'll help you, whatever in life. Okay, thank you.